Welcome to Technically You, the place where we decode tech without the jargon. Today, we're diving into a topic that's both crucial and often overlooked: indicators of compromise, or IOCs. If you've ever wondered how cybersecurity teams detect threats before it's too late, this one's for you.
Yep, this is where cyber defense really gets proactive. IOCs are like digital fingerprints, clues that tell you something shady may have happened or is happening.
So let's get into it. First off, what exactly are indicators of compromise?
Great starting point. An indicators of compromise, IOC, is any piece of forensic data that suggests a breach or malicious activity has occurred within a network or system. Think of it as evidence left behind by a cyber attacker, like a footprint, a tool they used, or even an IP address they connected from.
Got it. So these are the warning signs?
Exactly. Common IOCs include unusual outbound network traffic, anomalies in privileged user accounts, unexpected patches or software installations, and large numbers of failed login attempts. Each of these can tip off security teams that something's off.
Let's take a moment to define some of the big terms we'll be throwing around today.
Good idea. Here are some essential ones. IP address, a unique number assigned to a device connected to a network. It's like your digital mailing address. Hash, a cryptographic representation of data. Files, for example, can be hashed into a string of characters. If the hash changes unexpectedly, the file may have been tampered with. Domain name, a website name like google.com. Threat actors may use suspicious or look-alike domain names to trick users. Malware, short for malicious software. This includes viruses, ransomware, spyware, and more. TTPs, tactics, techniques, and procedures, their behavioral patterns. Command and control, C2, the infrastructure used by attackers to communicate with compromised systems inside a network. And beaconing, when malware phones home to its C2 server, often at regular intervals.
Wow, what a mouthful.
Exactly.
So, what kinds of IOCs are we typically looking for?
Great question. We break them down into three main types. The first type is host-based IOCs. These are found on endpoints like computers and servers. Examples include suspicious registry changes, unexpected processes, and altered files or logs. The second type is network-based IOCs, seen in network traffic like unusual DNS requests, unauthorized data transfers, and connections to blacklisted IPs. And third, there are email-based IOCs. Phishing is rampant. Look for spoofed sender addresses, malicious attachments or links, and strange language or urgency in messages.
All right, so how do security teams actually gather these indicators?
They use a mix of tools and sources. Here are some major ones: security information and event management. These platforms aggregate and analyze data from across your environment in real time. Focuses on monitoring endpoint activity, helping detect abnormal behaviors or malware. Threat intelligence feeds, external sources that provide known IOCs collected from the wild. Love it. And intrusion detection systems like IDS sniff out malicious patterns or known attack signatures on a network.
Here's a twist. I've also seen the term indicators of attack, IOAs. How are those different from IOCs?
Awesome distinction. While IOCs show evidence of past or ongoing compromise, IOAs are about intention. They're behavioral patterns that suggest an attacker is attempting something even if it hasn't succeeded yet. And as for TTPs, or tactics, techniques, and procedures, those are the broader strategies and tools an attacker uses. Think of them as the MO, or style of attack.
Okay, can you give us a real-world scenario of IOCs at work?
Sure. Let's say a company notices an unusual spike in data traffic at 3 a.m. That's an IOC. A closer look reveals outbound traffic to an IP in a foreign country. Another IOC. Dig deeper and they find a known malware hash in the logs. Boom. Multiple IOCs help connect the dots to identify and isolate the threat.
How are these IOCs shared across the industry?
Glad you asked. Organizations often use frameworks and sharing tools like STIX/TAXAI, structured formats for sharing cyber threat intel, MITRE AT&CK framework, a global knowledge base of TTPs and IOCs, and ISACs, sector-specific groups for threat intel sharing. There are others, but these are the well-known frameworks.
What are the challenges with using IOCs?
Good question. IOCs can become stale. Attackers rotate IPs and domains quickly. False positives are another issue. Just because something looks suspicious doesn't mean it's an actual threat. That's why modern systems combine IOCs with behavioral analytics and machine learning to get smarter over time.
So where does AI come into play here?
AI is helping automate detection, correlate events, and predict threats. Many security, orchestration, automation, and response SOAR platforms now use AI to filter noise and prioritize real threats based on IOC data.
All right, let's close this chapter. What's the big value in tracking IOCs?
Here's the bottom line. Faster incident response, better threat intelligence, early detection of breaches, support for compliance requirements, and integration with zero-trust architectures. As attacks get more complex, IOCs will remain foundational, but must be paired with smarter tools and proactive strategies.
I love it. That's the end of today's podcast on indicators of compromise.
Yep. If you're a business, a techie, or even just a concerned individual, understanding IOCs can help you stay ahead of cyber criminals.
Thanks for joining us. Subscribe to Technically You, and remember, in the digital world, every click leaves a trail. Let's make sure you know how to spot the footprints. So, as always, stay safe and stay curious.